I think we overhyping this victory, you know, in a sense where nobody picked Xander to win. Defense, reflexes, all that, But the only thing that I can say is I'm 10 steps ahead of him. Like I'm 10 steps ahead of him in smarts. And I think, that's where he'd get in trouble with, coming straight forward, trying to box me or trying to, think.
Terence Crawford has fired back after Jaron Ennis called him out, and his message is straightforward. Crawford believes Boots does not have what it takes to beat him inside the ring.
To exchange, winning the move, win the hold. Like if you watched when he got real hurt, real bad, he didn't know when to hold. And we all yelling like, grab him. He's right there to be grabbed.
Following his stoppage victory over Xander Zayas, Boots spoke with confidence. He made it clear he was ready to face anyone at 154 pounds, mentioning names like Terence Crawford, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Sebastian Fundora, and other top contenders. But Crawford's response shifted the conversation. Rather than praising Ennis, Bud brushed the performance aside and suggested he noticed weaknesses that many fans overlooked.
In your mind, I don't think no one picked Xander to win.
No.
And I love Xander, and he's a great kid, but no one, like, I think we overhyping this victory, in a sense where nobody picked Xander to win. Everybody was kind of like, okay, he's in over his head, and it's a matter of time before Boots catch him and end the fight. But what will it be? Right. Now, I think it's going to be different when he goes up against a Fundora or a Virgil, because if one of those guys get him hurt, like Xander did, I don't think it's going to be the same outcome.
That is where the tension...
That is what has fueled the growing tension. Boots looked powerful, explosive, and dangerous throughout the fight, but he also absorbed shots at times. Crawford's camp is pointing to those moments as evidence that Ennis is not yet prepared to deal with Bud's timing, patience, and exceptional ring intelligence.
Like I said, man, of course, everybody knows the competitive nature in myself, but I don't worry about coming back to prove anything, because me coming back and proving something to people that it doesn't matter, what never matters. For that being, they would say, oh, well, he only fought Xander, or they'll come up with some type of excuse, but to credit Boots, like, he's a tremendous talent, and he's no walk in the park for no one, so he's a threat to anyone that he stepped foot in the ring with,
Crawford did more than laugh at the challenge. He also stated that he believes he is 10 steps ahead of Boots. Comments like that go beyond ordinary trash talk and make the rivalry even more personal.
To be the Terence Crawford, Floyd Mayweather level of boxing, I need Josh Kelly, I need Fundora, I need Ortiz. We need names, Boots. None of that tune-up, none of that. If you want to be one of the best, you got to go out there and get it and be the best. Get back in the ring by 2027. Come on. If you really want to be one of them boys, I see he loves to talk. I see that, but you gotta just show us in the ring. The resumes, that was the.
When Crawford says he has nothing left to prove, his point is that Boots benefits far more from the matchup than he does. Ennis is still chasing the kind of legacy Crawford believes he has already established through his accomplishments in the sport.
I haven't fought this guy, and when I do fight these guys, or when I do step up, then it's always an excuse. So now that 38 years old, about to be 39, I don't have nothing to prove. I didn't win everything there is to win. I hope that Jaron have half of the career that I had, or surpass me. If he surpassed me, I'm gonna be rooting for him. I'm gonna be giving him his props. I'm not the type of fighter that, want to see him fail. I want to see him succeed. I want to congratulate him. I want to see him, make it to the Hall of Fame and, congratulate him and things like that, But when you say, oh, he would knock Terence Crawford out, or Terence Crawford ducked him, or Terence Crawford ran, and that's why Terence Crawford retired, it pisses me off sometimes, but at the same time, it's just the
You
game.
know the truth. Yeah, you know the truth.
Crawford again emphasized that he no longer feels the need to prove himself. That statement changes the entire discussion. Boots can continue calling him out, fans can debate the matchup, and many can argue that Bud should return to settle the question, but Crawford views it differently. He has already collected world titles, defeated elite opponents, moved through multiple weight classes, and built a resume that many fighters are still trying to match.
Easy, big dog. You got anything in closing? Anything we didn't have?
Nah. I'm definitely a fan of boxing. You know, I'm gonna be in Australia. I'm gonna be.
Oh yeah, I know you're gonna be over there. Yeah.
I'm gonna be supporting Spence, rooting him on. You know, I just like to support, you know, fighters in his own right. I done been in Boots' locker room supporting him. You know, so yeah, it's just crazy how the tables turn. You know, when people get to a certain plateau and they forget about things like that.
We picking Earl? I'm picking
Of course.
Wow.
Of course.
Sean?
Of course.
Yeah.
Shot better.
We gotta see.
Wow.
Boots, however, does not appear bothered by Crawford's comments. From his perspective, saying there is nothing left to prove sounds like a convenient answer. Crawford can claim he is 10 steps ahead, laugh about it online, and remind everyone of his legacy. But Ennis sees it another way. If Bud truly believes Boots cannot beat him, then he wants him to come back and prove it in the ring. Ennis is essentially saying Crawford cannot keep talking about retirement while acting as though the outcome is already settled. In his view, Bud should either accept the fight or stop treating him like he is beneath him.
We focus on task and taking over this division. We ain't worrying about retired fighters.
Yeah, y'all keep on throwing Terence up. Terence, he retired.
According to Shannon Sharp, Chad Okocinco Johnson, and Joe Johnson, Boots may be rushing toward a fight with Terence Crawford too soon. They believe Crawford still holds important advantages, including experience, ring IQ, patience, timing, and the ability to win in different ways. While Boots brings youth, strength, and excitement, Bud has already proven himself against the sport's top competition. That is why they are not ready to pick Ennis over Crawford. In their opinion, Bud remains the superior fighter. They believe he reads mistakes before they happen, adapts better than almost anyone in boxing, and knows exactly how to capitalize when an opponent becomes comfortable. So although Boots is a dangerous challenger, they still see Crawford operating on a higher level.
Him like he fought Canelo. Bud is a lot smarter than you think. Bud, people sleep on Bud. I don't know why. I mean, he's the only man that's unified 3 divisions. And you don't see guys go from 140 to 68. Jump 3, basically one fight at 54. Basically, he jumped 3 divisions. 3. Come on now. But I don't know. I don't know if Bud's like, look, man, I done made money. Now it's time for me to sit back and let these young fellas, let the other fellas have it. He a 4-division champ. He's a 3-division unified champ. Let that sink in. In the 4-belt era, he got 3 divisions in which he had all.
Rick Glazer also responded to fans calling for a Terence Crawford versus Jaron Boots Ennis showdown, bringing the discussion back to business. He posted on X, * for those dreaming about a Boots Ennis versus Terence Crawford fight. Besides, Bud has said he's retired, who is going to pay Crawford the kind of money to destroy Ennis that Crawford could make for a just as easy Canelo rematch, which would pay way north of $50 million. Think about that. * Meanwhile, Vinny's Corner wrote, *NGL, Bud Crawford stops Boots Ennis. You'll better stop calling for that man. * Those reactions show how some people interpreted Boots' victory over Xander Zayas. They are not questioning Ennis' talent, power, or ability at the new weight. Instead, they believe Crawford represents an entirely different challenge. From their perspective, Bud's timing, defense, counterpunching, patience, and ability to make adjustments would overwhelm Boots. While Ennis views calling out Crawford as a sign of confidence, Vinny's Corner sees it as a risky move, warning that Crawford could expose every weakness and quickly silence the hype. Promoter Lou DiBella offered a more balanced opinion, saying, * right now, meaning right now, if Bud Crawford came out of retirement, he beats Boots. Just saying, age and inactivity help no one. Asterisk.
Rick tweeted, "For those dreaming about a Boots Ennis versus Terence Crawford fight, besides Bud has said he's retired, who is going to pay Crawford the kind of money to destroy Ennis that Crawford could make for a just as easy Canelo rematch, which would pay way north of 50 mil. Think about that." And Vinny's Corner tweeted, "NGL, Bud Crawford stops Boots Ennis. Y'all better stop calling."
According to Boxing Ego, Terence Crawford has no intention of ending his retirement for a fight with Boots Ennis, and the reason is straightforward. Crawford does not need that matchup in the same way Ennis does. Boots is the one pursuing a defining victory that would elevate his legacy and prove he belongs among boxing's biggest names. Crawford, on the other hand, has already built an impressive resume, won the sport's biggest fights, and reached a position where he can simply choose the opportunities that make the most sense for him.